Christina Koutsospyrou and Aran Hughes. Welcome. Yeah, how to begin? Your film is, it is evident that it is a depiction of, or a portrait of rural life, a depiction of everyday life of those shepherds in a remote village in the Greek mountains. What made you go there? What made you go in this region, and how did the idea for this film come up in the first place?
First of all, thanks for being here. My dad comes from the village. I go there since I was a child. Go there on holidays primarily. A couple of years back, about three and a half years back, we went on holiday there with Aran. It was his first time in the village. It was a summer. It was a summertime, and we got to spend a lot of time with the villagers in the local cafe. We got to know them, Aran especially. We got interested in the characters that lived there, and we just got inspired by them. Wanted to concentrate just in the cafe, and create a portrait of that little village starting from the cafe. Unfortunately, the cafe shut down, so the second time we went shooting, we didn't have the opportunity to continue with it, and that had to do with the whole financial problems and the fact that the woman that ran the cafe was old. But we found other characters and we followed from there.
And your film is not only, or how should I put it, it's not only a portrait of rural life, but you also give it a very allegorical dimension, an even apocalyptic touch. Perhaps you could comment on that.
I think when you make a film, you're just putting in what you feel is important from the footage that you've got, and I think it's hard for us to say that yes, it's allegorical, or this scene is this, or this refers to this. I mean, that's something that I think comes from the audience and comes from a lot of the feedback that we've had, that it kind of seems to have this allegory. But for us, I think we were really concentrating on making a film about shepherds in the mountain. And the apocalyptic, I guess, from the weather and the way that we've used the weather, and we've kind of pushed it so it appears in this kind of ominous, doom-laden kind of setting, which obviously we've pushed ourselves. But it's hard to connect with an allegory when you made the film yourself, I think.
Yeah, but it's not only the weather, always stormy, windy, cloudy, foggy, rainy, but there are also some aesthetic decisions that emphasize this allegoric thing. For instance, the very beginning, the introduction, the intro of the film before the first title, it is something like, it sounds like a biblical prophecy. I mean, great poverty will come, and then there is this quotation, like a huge exclamation mark, Greece is dead, it is finished. I mean, this is your decision to make us enter in the film.
Yeah, I mean, that's the shepherd Panis. He's like that. That's like his catchphrase. You know, he goes around telling people this thing, and for years before we got to the end of the film, when actually we filmed this scene, he'd been telling us that, and he goes to the cafes and he tells people that, and so it was something we wanted to put in the film, and we thought if we put it at the beginning, we could kind of set the tone for what we see for the rest of the film. So it was kind of an intro with a kind of prophecy of what we wanted to show in the film. This chaos and disaster.
The faces of your protagonists are very impressive. Sometimes it's like, because it's often in the dark, it's like in a Baroque painting. Perhaps you could tell us something about how you chose your protagonists and also how you worked with them.
Yeah, the father and son were two people that Christina knew a little bit already. So when we first got there, we began with them and we began filming them, and they were kind of the most probably the most rural and kind of the shepherds that we met. So they worked well for us, and they were the happiest to be filmed. Really, they really wanted to do it, and they loved being in it, and they loved. We just were with them all day. You know, we'd go and find them. We'd go out with their goats. We'd go back to the house. We'd go to a bar at night, and they were happy to be. It was just fun for them. You know, it was something different to just taking their goats out every day. And the other ones, the old guy Panis, he was someone we just were driving around one day and we saw this guy and we thought we drove over to him and we started talking to him and he was again,
Scared.
He does scare me a bit, yeah. Yeah, it was just people, and then the minute you meet them, they say, "Oh, come to the house," and then they're giving you food and they're giving you what they have, and then they're friends, you know.
We also worked really well with the camera because we did try with a few different people from the village, but they seemed the most striking to us when we looked back all the footage we had from the research. They seemed to be the most striking, and they just looked good on camera. So. And we felt comfortable with them. The old shepherd Panis with his wife. I mean, maybe it doesn't come across in the film so much, but they're really fun to be around with, and they clash. They're really different in character, and it was really enjoyable working with them and being there. And they always wanted us around, and not that the rest of the people around the village didn't, but they seemed like the right combination, those two families, to look at.
And how would you describe your film in terms of being a mixture of documentary and fiction elements in this respect?
I don't. What you see is really the truth of it. We created a story around it, so we get away from the documentary side, but we haven't led the characters much into. We haven't asked them to do things apart from bits and bobs that we needed to link the shots together. That was done. The editing and the fiction was done in the editing process. So the fictional side was done in the editing process. But the characters are really real. We've just added some elements and also the static.
Yeah, I think the camera work was something that we consciously went into thinking if we just use static shots and not moving, then we take it away from a kind of traditional documentary style of filming, you know, because it's harder to do one static shot and then piece it together as if it's all happening at the same time. So it was something that we just worked on a lot, and I think we normally say that it was kind of filmed as a documentary and edited as a fiction film.
I guess there are questions from the audience here as well. Please wait for the mic. Here it is.
Why didn't you show also something from the fun you had with the people, only the depression?
I think as filmmakers and artists, we wanted to present something that was a piece about struggle and decline. So, I mean, it wasn't a question of representing these people and saying, well, look, there's fun and there's this. It was, you know, it's a piece of work to show a feeling, really. I think it was a kind of an emotional response to the situation, rather than just a documentary about these people.
So the sort of joy that I'm saying is quite tragic joy, tragic-comic, as they say in Greece. It's a sort of, it comes through all the negative, all the psychological strain that they're going through right now. So maybe when I'm saying joyous moments, I don't necessarily mean fun, but black humor, yeah, I guess Greek black humor, which is, if you go to Greece right now,